What's up, everybody? My name is Steve Fast from the Hammer Down Motorsports YouTube channel, and welcome to Truck Central. Now behind me, we have the Truck Central F150, and the torch has been passed to me. So it's been a little while since the truck has been on the channel, and this is actually my first time seeing it in person. So let's have a little look around this truck and see what we got. So first things first, we notice it does have a quite substantial off-road bumper, and this could go through a lot of stuff by the looks of it. We have some LED fog lighting, which is probably in replacement for the broken headlight. The grille is pretty much mostly non-existent, and we do have the obvious signs of a front-end collision with the fenders dented in from the doors opening, and we do have two deployed airbags. As far as rust goes, there is a fair amount. As you can see, all I have to do is stick my foot under the door, and there's basically not a whole lot there. We are missing a fender flare that could have happened when it was in an accident. Apparently the story on this truck is it wasn't an accident, it was the guy's daily driver, and since the airbags were blown, it became his yard truck before coming into the possession of Truck Central. So our mirrors are still intact. All the glass is still there. Looks like we have a plexiglass slider. Box isn't in too bad a shape other than your standard Ford rust that you're gonna see kind of coming through on the bottom. We have a little bit more right here as well. Tires aren't too bad. Other than that, we do have a flat on the front, but we're gonna fill that one up and hopefully it holds air. Around the back, we have a little bit of damage on the bumper, and the tailgate is kind of hanging on by a thread, but maybe we can get that back into alignment. Guess we'll see what we can do. I do see a slight pinion leak on the rear diff, but nothing too major by the looks of things. The interior of this truck actually isn't all that horrible. It is a little bit dirty, but I've seen a lot worse. And for what this truck is, I think we got something to work with. So let's see if it'll start. It doesn't appear that we have any battery function. No lights came on. We turned the key and we got nothing. So I kind of half expected this since this truck has been sitting for some time. So I brought a battery with me. Let's try it out and see if we can get this thing to start up. Got my trusty hood prop. And let's get this old battery removed. So we have our battery installed. Unfortunately, this battery is not the right size for this truck, so it is a little bit loose, and our factory hold down isn't gonna work with this one, so we're gonna have to find some other way to hold this battery down, because we're gonna be doing some pretty fun things with this truck, and I don't want that battery falling around inside this engine compartment. I think we should be good for clearance. Looks like the hood will close, but we did put the positive protector back on just in case. So the next thing we need to do is check some fluids, and then we're ready to start it up. First of all, we're gonna check our engine oil. It doesn't feel like this has been checked in a long time. Because on Fords, this O-ring dries out and then the stick doesn't want to come out very easily. But let's have a look. We do have oil on the stick, and it actually doesn't look half bad. So we do have engine oil. That is a good thing. Check our power steering. Kind of hard to see in there, but I'm sure it'll be fine. If not, we'll know it fairly soon. Check our transmission. Now normally you would check your transmission oil while it's running, but I just want to make sure we have fluid in the transmission, and it looks pretty good. Another thing we're going to check is the air filter, just in case there's a mouse nest or something like that. You do not want to have that get sucked into your intake and ruin all your fun. So I'm gonna need 2 ounces for this, but we're gonna check that air filter out. Okay, our air filter checks out. We're ready to start this thing up. Okay, we have power on the dash. And here goes nothing. Come on, baby, you can do it. The gas gauge reads quarter tank, so we should be okay for fuel. And that's about all we're gonna get out of that battery. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to charge that battery fully, so let's put the booster pack on and see what happens. All right, we got our Boost Max hooked up. Let's give it another try. Doesn't sound like the fuel pump is running. So let's do a little bit of investigating. First thing I check is the inertia switch, which is right in here, and it is pushed in, so that's not our issue. We might have a bad fuel pump. So if that's the case, we might have a prayer of getting it started with a big hammer, turn the key to on and bang on the tank, and hopefully it'll go. And still no such luck, so the next thing we're gonna do is start checking some fuses. So somebody was out to test my mechanical ability today, and what I found was this relay here and this relay here were both missing. So I went over to the trusty junkyard, grabbed a couple relays. Let's give this another try. Fingers crossed. There it is, she lives. Now let the fun begin. So now that we know that it runs, it's time to fill up this flat tire. Hopefully it holds air and we can actually go for a drive in the F150. So we got my trusty Bi-Air, which is from my Jeep days, which is really good for airing up tires by just using the battery. And so far so good. I think it's starting to fill up slowly but surely. So all in all, my first impressions of this truck is it probably was well maintained before its accident, and it really does run well. It doesn't have any exhaust leaks. It runs really smooth, so I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. All right, well, the F-150 moves. I can't say much for that tire. I don't think it's in the greatest condition. There was a lot of air coming out, so I think we might have a fairly large hole. Hopefully it's fixable, and then we can go and have some fun. Okay, we have the tire off, so now we're gonna fill it up and see kind of where that hole is, and hopefully we can plug it. We found the hole. It's right here, kind of by that grip right there. So it's not in the sidewall, it's just kind of right on the border right there. So we're gonna get a plug prepared and see if we can stop this leak. All right, I let the truck run for a little while and I don't see any obvious leaks other than you can see this a little bit on the ground, but that is not a bad thing. That means that yes, the air conditioning works in this truck. Not well, but enough to give you a little bit of cool air while you're driving the living crap out of it. And we got our wheel back on, our tire plug held, so we're ready to go. Always buckle up for safety. This truck has manual seats, but we do have power windows, power mirrors, all of which still work. All right, let's try the wipers. We don't appear to have any washer fluid, but I do hear the pump running. We only have one wiper blade, which isn't really a problem because we're missing the one on the passenger side, so we can deal with that. It seems to drive relatively straight. The power steering works. No real obvious clunks or bangs. It has 231,132 miles, so has definitely done its service, you might say. Doesn't seem to have a whole lot of power. Step on it and it's a little on the sluggish side, but either way, what do you expect from a truck with 231,000 miles and hadn't been running in who knows how long? So other than its rough exterior, the F150 is a running and driving truck once again. We are going to be having a lot of fun in upcoming videos with this truck, so definitely stay tuned for that. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to Truck Central, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Definitely come check me out at Hammer Down Motorsports and keep that hammer down.